So I told my doctor I broke my arm in 3 places. The doctor said, just stay out of those 3 places.
This is Gina.
And this is Don. And this is another Tuesday Tips for Parents.
Focused, healthy family. And that joke I find particularly funny because one time I went to see a patient at the rehab facility where I work, and she said, I broke my arm in 3 places. And I so wanted to say to her, well, stay out of those places. So today we're here to bring you another Tuesday tip. A tip for parents as well as anyone who's in the caregiving position, whether it's your aging parents or your children, whether they're grown but still need your support. So this comes from the book, Dare to Be Yourself. How to Quit Being an Extra in Other People's Movies and Become the Star of Your Own. This is the subtitle of the book, Dare to Be Yourself by Stephen Cohen. So many of my clients, of Don's clients, and people we know have built their lives on others' expectations and desires. They have done this so much so that they don't know their own expectations and their own life, their own desires. It's hard to keep up with the expectations of so many others. It's exhausting. Cohen dares you to be many things to yourself. Believe in yourself, respect yourself, forgive yourself, and on and on. So it becomes a journey of discovery of who you really are, what you desire, and your own experiences. Again, this is taken from the book, Dare to Be Yourself, How to Quit Being an Extra in Other People's Movie and Become the Star of Your Own Life by Stephen Cohen. That's Cohen.
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of, I call them givers and pleasers. And it usually comes from something in the childhood where they feel like they have to fight or not fight, I guess is a good word, but they have to really work hard to do something to gain some more attention or some more love from the parent. And it develops them into this place of being a pleaser or a giver, of doing everything they can to make everybody happy so that they get the love and the attention they want. And it's one that I work on a lot.
And if you continue that, I think as a child, you're trying to please people, you're trying to make them happy, and you continue to do this into your adult years, and if I just do this, then mom will be happy, and she'll love me the way I want her to do. Or if I do this, then, I'll get the right job. And if you continue that path, that's going to put just a whole lot of...
Well, it's a burnout place. Certainly, it gets so much. Because if you think about it, you're not trying to a lot of times it gets to a point where you're not just going after one person's expectations. You start developing where you're going after the expectations of your spouse or your kids.
Living up to other people's expectations, if you're trying to do that, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and failure. If you can't live up to what you want in your life and your own expectations,
how can you do others?
You can't expect other people. You're looking to other people to make you happy, essentially. If you're living up to what they expect of you, then you're deriving your happiness and your joy from fulfilling what they expect and what their needs are. I mean, something as simple, you think of Dead Poets Society, the movie, based in the 50s or 60s, and the boys went to the school and they went to become doctors and lawyers because that's what their parents
wanted them
insisted
to do,
that they do, and they had to follow in those footsteps. And even if they didn't want to, and you see this even today with expectations of parents, or even like kids in a sport or an activity that's intense and requires a lot of practice, and all of a sudden they're on the level of pursuing the Olympics or a real intensity, and maybe they do enjoy it, but maybe they don't even know if they do anymore because it's just so much people out there and coaches cheering them on that maybe the fun is gone for them in what they're doing, even though we think they love it, we think they're enjoying it. So it's something to think about as a parent, what expectations we're putting on others. And, as the person being the caregiver, what are you expecting your children to behave a certain way for you to be happy?
Well, yeah, and then you've got to think about, you start losing yourself because your expectation, what you're striving for is satisfying everybody else's expectation instead of yours. So you don't gain any, especially if you do this from childhood, you don't gain any knowledge of what you desire, what you expect, or what you want. And what I find is, because I'm working with the doctor, and these people are coming in to heal themselves, and they don't realize that they get lost then because they don't know themselves. And so the work I do is getting them to start focusing on themselves, start asking for support, asking for help. Because here again with the pleasers and givers, they've trained everybody around them not to give to them. Not to, and I'm not talking about Christmas gifts or anything like that. I'm talking about support, love, attention.
I can do it. I can take care of it. I'm
Yeah,
the one
don't
who
worry
takes care
about
of
it.
you.
And so, I work with them and kind of retraining the people around them. And really the even toughest part is for them to ask for what they need.
Well, and retraining the other people around them we're not going to change other people.
No.
But how we say things and how we respond when people say, oh, let me know if I can help you. And you're like, well, I never know what to say. Or do they really mean that?
Yeah.
Well, you can choose to respond differently and stop making assumptions about other people. And, you talk about you work in a doctor's office. It's a naturopathic doctor. People come there for wellness, to look at a holistic life, to look at changing their diet and what they're eating and to clean up their physical health of their body. And they can do all that, but still be bogged down because they haven't worked on clearing out what's in the mind.
Yeah.
And those past messages and all that negativity. You can eat a perfect diet and do every exercise and do that all right. But if you're carrying around negative messages in your head and past issues with relationships with other people.
Well, I got an example of that right now that I'm working with a person that was really wanting to lose weight. And she has done everything. She eats really healthy because of the program, and she can't drop the weight. And so we've been working on what's holding her back, and of course it goes into what's going on in the mind and what kind of baggage she's still carrying from childhood. And I think we're making some breakthroughs in that. But you can do all, like you said, you can do all that stuff, but it doesn't mean you're gonna heal.
You've got to heal the mind, the body, and the soul all together. You can't just try to focus on one. It's a
because
full package.
What's going on up in the brain here is running what's going on in the body, and if it isn't running right, then this isn't running right.
And vice versa. We clean up our body. Well, then, many people, they change their diet and they eat healthy and they feel better and things change that way too.
Yeah.
Yet there's got to be a balance of both going on.
So I think it's important to really, take a look at where are your expectations coming from? Are they coming from you? Are they something somebody else desires? And
if you're curious, check out Alan Cohen's book. We've read some other books that he's written. I'm not sure if we've read this one ourselves, Don. But
I did at one point.
I've got to pull it out and read it again because as we're talking about it, I'm like, I need to reread that book. Because, we need refreshers on these things, even those of us who teach this information.
That's right.
We teach what we most need to learn. And we're glad you have joined us today for this Focused Healthy Family tip.
Yep.
And we'd love for you to join us on Thursdays when we do a full podcast. You can listen to it here where you're listening to any podcast, but we also air it on YouTube. So that's every Thursday.
Check us out on our website, Focused Healthy Family, and you can find out all about us, what all different things we're involved in and what we do for helping
Our
others.
Ask the OT, caring for aging loved ones, the different programs we offer, different videos you can watch of information that we've given. And remember, how you speak to your children today shapes their future and yours.